Hello my fellow Royals, welcome to Weekly Spiritual Fitness. I today want to talk to you about relationships. Being in relationship is a key part of what it means to be human. And in particular today I want to talk about one of the most significant relationships that we can have, which is the relationship with our intimate partner. And so when relationships are in distress, it's scientifically proven that this leaks into every aspect of our lives. When our relationships are good, then they can be a strong determining factor of the way that we're going to handle stress, about the way that we're going to respond to difficult situations. Now, when people are asked what their number one goal in life is, people overwhelmingly respond, not career aspirations, not financial success, but instead they respond being in a satisfying relationship. And this makes sense. It's the way that we're made. Our brains are hardwired this way. Lao Tzu, the founder of Taoism, said that being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, while loving someone deeply gives you courage. I think this is a great way of looking at it. In the Bible, as a Christian, in Genesis it says that we're made in the image of God, and I think that means seeking relationship, seeking connection. And so we see that the foremost instinct of humans is not sex or aggression, but it's seeking comforting contact and connection. All throughout our lives, from cradle to grave, this is something that we seek, something we need. The brain releases something called the cuddle hormone, oxytocin, when we're making love or we're embracing somebody that we feel a lifelong bond to. And in fact, oxytocin is only found in monogamous animals and monogamous mammals. Oxytocin gives us a sense of calm joy, of confidence, and it greatly reduces our distress as well. Our brains are wired to seek this connection, and losing it can send a panic signal through our brain, and especially when a loved one doesn't respond. We can see this in children when they feel that their parents aren't responding, then they can cry all the more if their needs aren't being met, and that stays with us throughout our whole lives. And our main panic responses when we get older is either to shut down or to get demanding. But we find both these strategies are actually usually counterproductive in the long term. Relationships don't break down because of conflict typically. Conflict is actually healthy. We need conflict. We need conflict for our relationships to grow and for us to be healthy and to grow as human beings individually as well. The primary conflicts around sex, money, and children are not seen to be what causes breakups, but instead a deterioration of emotional connection, the breakdown of emotional connection, and the decreased emotional responsiveness or our ability to be emotionally connected is normally answered in questions like, are you there for me? Do I matter to you? Can I reach you? Can you hear me? Will you be there when I need you? Am I enough for you? Do you accept me? Now, this is reflective of our universal attachment need, the need to know that we are loved, that we're wanted, and the need to feel accepted and enough. This is actually across all cultures, across all ages, genders. It doesn't matter. We have two primary questions, and one is, am I going to be okay? And the second is, if I'm not, who's going to be there for me? And when these attachment needs are unmet, then it can lead to attachment fears, such as feelings of rejection and abandonment. Now, a loss of emotional connection plus unmet attachment needs equals a negative cycle of conflict. And the most common is the pursuer and withdrawer, or the attack and defend cycle. And this happens in most relationships. The pursuer is in most heterosexual relationships, the pursuer is the female and the withdrawer is the male. I can tell you in my own relationship it's actually the opposite, but it's somewhat rare. Now, the pursuer, when they don't feel valued or close, they'll attack. criticize or complain, where the withdrawer instead will shut down and defend themselves, often using logic to protect the relationship and to hopefully they feel not make things worse. The more the pursuer feels ignored, the more they ramp up their pursuit, and the more the withdrawer feels attacked, the more they shut down, and this becomes a negative cycle which just increases and gets worse. Now, the pursuer will do things like attack, blame, criticize, nag, threaten, yell, or cry when they feel abandoned or alone or disconnected, hurt, rejected, unloved, unlovable, or scared. The withdrawer, their main way of dealing with conflict is to avoid it or to become cold. They freeze, they defend, or they get quiet, or they go to be alone. And this is because they'll feel angry or frustrated, overwhelmed, judged, blamed, at fault, like a failure, confused or scared. The pursuer might say things like, "You never listen to me," or "You never help around the house." And the underlying feeling to this is, I feel like I don't matter. I feel abandoned. I feel alone. And what they need when they say things like, "You never listen to me," is they need to feel like they matter. They need to feel like that you're going to be there for them. Sometimes things get worse and worse, and the pursuer might say, "I can't keep going on like this." And this feeling at this point is that they feel alone and unloved and hopeless. And they have, at this point, a desperate need to feel loved and wanted. The withdrawer often will say things like, "You're never happy. It's never enough for you. All you do is complain." And they do this because they feel overwhelmed or confused, or they feel like they've failed. They need, at this point, when they say these things, to feel like they're enough. To feel like they can make you happy. They might say something like, "What do you mean I never do whatever? I don't whatever. Just last week, This logic response makes sense to the withdrawer, but the thing is that the criticism isn't about the thing itself. It's about an unmet attachment need. But when the withdrawer says these things, they too have an unmet attachment need. They feel unappreciated, and what they need to feel is like they're enough. The withdrawer might say something like, "If you need to leave so bad, then there's the door." This to the pursuer feels like a rejection, but at the same time the withdrawer feels overwhelmed, attacked, or scared, and they need to know that you want to stay. People in secure relationships are less likely to develop OSIs. They're more likely to have better physical and mental health. When they do get injured, they typically heal faster and better, and they live longer, happier lives. So being able to disrupt this cycle is absolutely key to a strong relationship, but also just to your general well-being. You might have seen on the Facebook page that Dr. Sue Johnson is offering free online relationship counseling to members of 2RCR. This is a fantastic deal, and I really hope that you take advantage of it, whether or not your relationship is experiencing a rocky spot, or if you feel like you're in a good spot. You do basic maintenance on your car. This is an opportunity for you to enter into doing some basic maintenance on your relationship as well, or repair if you need it. This is an amazing opportunity. Typically $400 is what the Dr. Sue Johnson will charge for this online counseling, but free is what it's being offered to us. So I hope you'll take advantage of it, not just because it's such a great deal, but because honestly, your well-being, your happiness, your enduring sense of connection and peace, your brain needs it. And so do it, because it's available and it's free, and this is a great opportunity right now. If you're deploying, then this is a good opportunity to make sure that your relationship is on a solid ground before you go. And if you're not deploying, well, then you're going to be close to your significant other as well. So this is an opportunity for you to do some work on your relationship because we all need to do that work. We need physical training in order to keep our bodies strong. We need to also do some training in our relationships to make sure they're strong as well. I hope this message finds you well, that whether you're in a relationship or not, that you can find some value in this talk and this time, and that you're good. Is this all presses in on us as we're all in these close quarters with our families, or we're living alone in this time. Don't forget about each other. Reach out, call each other, look after each other, be good to each other, be good to your families, and be good to yourself. Take care, my fellow royals, and pro patria.